The Joe Rogan Experience.
It is dead, but we're a long way from this stuff being
dead ever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's got to be dead forever. It's not theirs to sell. It's very unique to the United States. It's an amazing thing that we have. And I don't think people in other countries understand this. I don't think people in America even understand how unique it is. Like our public lands, what they did when they set that up, not just national parks, but all the public lands, we created this insane resource, this beautiful resource where we can go into the mountains, into the woods, and enjoy nature. And it's ours. It's all of ours.
And the amount of response from listeners that live outside the country and to a person, they're like, are you guys really going to screw this up? They're like,
yeah.
How do people not know? How do people not appreciate what you guys have? Don't turn into this country or this country or this country. Basically, any other country outside of Canada and the U.S.
I think the real issue is the people in America that don't experience it and don't go there and don't know how insanely unique this situation is. Like, I don't know how to say Chamath's last name, Polyhoptia, is that how you say it? Even he was tweeting, this is a great deal, sell the land and, we'll make some money. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you don't understand. Like, this was an incredible gift that they gave us when they set America up this way.
Oh, yeah. And it's not that they need to go out and experience. They can also understand just where food comes from, right? How we get cold water and fresh water in our taps. That public resource is working on our behalf 24/7, 365, always has been and always will be as long as we don't screw it up, right? So it's not just the recreational part of it. It is no different than, if you want to think of it in these terms, than some, one-armed jack pumping oil out of the ground. Like, it is constantly working on our behalf, and it being public land needs to be intact, an intact ecosystem to do its job. And there's less and less of it every year. So, like, for instance, right, like America's grasslands, we are losing 2 million acres, and grasslands are kind of like a catch-all phrase a little bit, but it'd be like sagebrush ecosystem, short grass prairie, mixed grass prairie, but we're losing 2 million acres a year. It's the most threatened ecosystem, not just in the U.S., but in the entire planet. And people are like, oh, it's just grass, not
How
doing anything.
How are we losing that?
Development.
Really?
Well, there's development, but also encroachment of tree species. So cedars, junipers, stuff like that, working their way back out on to the prairie, to the plain. And we used to have all these natural deforesters out there, bison, that wouldn't allow those trees to grow because they like rubbing up on stuff and they'll destroy them. So, millions of bison out there physically removing or preventing that tree encroachment onto the plain. Those trees are sucking water out of the ground, making it more arid, more dry. Water table goes down. You lose a lot of species diversification, and people just do not know, Joe. They just don't know. And they look at it and they're like, it's just grass.
Yeah, I never knew that it was 2 million acres a year. How many acres in the United States?
About 2.23 billion acres in the U.S.
So that's a lot. Like 2 million acres a year is a lot.
2 million acres a year is a lot. And like I was hacking on Jamie for his golf swing, right? We got about
Jamie's got a solid golf swing. You gotta leave him alone.
That's about all I got is the golf swing.
Leave him alone. He can swing. Jamie, what's the longest drive you've ever hit?
I've hit it over, 310, whatever, 305.
That's legit
Not
as fuck.
but I've done it.
That's legit, right? I don't play golf, but I think that's pretty legit. What's
I'm nodding
world
my
record?
head because I'm like, yeah, I have no idea. 300s, that's
They've
a lot.
set someone up to hit over 600 yards before, but
Wow.
that's like with the wind and the elevation and Elevation helps a lot.
Right, like Montana or
Yeah,
something
you
like
can
that.
hit it. I could hit it 400 yards in Montana.
Really?
I have on
wow.
the simulator.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right,
The
but-
simulator. Oh, the simulator accounts for that.
Yeah, but you don't have to dodge bears on the simulator.
2 million acres of golf courses in the U.S.
Is there?
2 million acres. of
Okay,
just,
so that's
just
a good
golf
way to
courses,
look at it. Like,
right?
All the golf courses in the United States get lost every year in grassland.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good way to put it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so we talk in as far as like the public estate, right? We have 640 million acres is the number that you hear all the time. 83 million of those are national parks. But thanks to the great state of Alaska, you can hunt inside the boundary of some national parks up there to the tune of about like 43 million acres. Big chunks, right? And then you remove a little for structures, roads. We have over 400,000 miles of road on Forest Service and BLM ground.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot, right? And then when we get into like talking about like the budgeting of things, like BLM, Forest Service, they're maintaining a lot of stuff that people take for granted. And then, so we're down to like 580 million acres of what I would consider like usable. And then you consider what those acres can actually produce, right? Which, if you go to a super arid state, you need a lot more land to support like mammal, ungulate type life than you do in a state that's got a lot
Like
more
Oregon,
water.
or something
Yeah,
like that,
that's
right?
growing a
Yeah.
lot of food in a smaller amount of space, right?
Yeah.
So to make things palatable for people, we're always doing the work of like dumbing things down, dumbing down the messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. Like people don't know. They don't know because we try to distill things into like all public land,
Yeah.
right? But it is so diverse, which is what makes it amazing. And that diversity provides all this opportunity. And one of the things that people need to keep in mind is we have nothing but bad examples. All these other countries have gone the complete opposite way of what we have now. And one of America's largest exports is hunters. Like we send hunters all over the world to support these other economies. And what we have here at home is insanely valuable, and it just becomes more and more valuable because we have large intact ecosystems that you just more and more cannot find anywhere else, right?
Yeah, and I wish more people appreciated it. I wish more people experienced it. There's just too many people that just are landlocked. I mean, what I mean by landlocked, I mean in cities. Urban locked is probably the best term for it. There's just too many people that just don't go out. They don't know how amazing it is. It's like, I always say that it's like a vitamin that you didn't know you needed. You get out into the real wild, the real woods. It's some kind of a nutrient that you didn't know you needed.
Oh, man, I was just went up to the Arctic, went up to Arctic National Wildlife Refuge to check that place out. And 24 hours of sun, right? Land in the midnight sun, never gets dark. And I was the only person on that trip who didn't bring like some sort of an eye cover to sleep with. And I just can't tell you like how hard and good I slept up there. Like
Really? Even without eye
drooling
cover?
all over myself, and it's just clean air and lots of space, man. It was magical.
How do you sleep with no eye cover?
I swear to God, Joe, man, when it was time to go to bed, and it started out like bed was at 10:30, and then bed was at 2:30 in the morning, and then bed was 3 a.m. Because you would get, as that sun's kind of like making this low orbit, I'm sure you've seen like the time lapses of the sun, like kind of does a little dip.
Yeah.
You get this like hazy, gorgeous light that you just wanted to stay up and see. But I'd close my eyes and I could see like the sun going down to darkness and in my brain because it was just time to go to bed. It was really bizarre. And then if I had to wake up for something, it was bright light and I couldn't figure out why. Yeah. But I mean, it was so cathartic, man. Like, we've been running so hard. And because of this public lands battle that we've been in, I think most people are like, oh, yeah, it just popped up last week. And then we crushed it in big win. And a little larger group of people or smaller group of people is like, oh, it started in the House about 6 weeks ago. And then there's a real small group of people who are like, August 24th, the state of Utah submitted a lawsuit for the United States Supreme Court to take 18.5 million acres of BLM land in Utah. August 2024 is when we were like, oh my God, we got to be on top of this. This is what's coming. Trump's going to win the election. It's going to set all these things up, and we're going to be in this fight.
Yeah.
And people were like, I don't even know why you're talking about this. This isn't a big deal. I'm like, oh, it is a big deal. This is happening.
Well, it's such a slippery slope, too. This is what people don't know or don't appreciate. If you say, oh, it's only like 1 million acres, we'll sell off 1 million acres, it'll help fix the debt. No, it's not. The debt's $37 trillion. You're not going to fix the debt by selling off public land. And if you open up that slippery slope to these fucking vampire developers, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep sucking on that blood until there's nothing left, until it's just the national parks. Oh, we preserved Yellowstone. Oh, great.
And that quite literally is, like Mike Lee is like the figurehead of this right now. He's on the record saying, we're going to sell everything. We need to sell everything. That's the plan. We're going to retain the national parks and maybe a couple other things.
Duh.
And he's been on the record for damn near 20 years saying this stuff.
Who's paying him?
There's a lot there, right? Like where he grew up in Utah, there's a lot of like,
well, that's where Chaffetz is from, right?
Yeah.
And he was the guy we were fighting a few years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly why I dug this shirt out, Joe.
Yeah, I got one of those somewhere.
Yeah. I wore this shirt on your show the last time this shit was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's right. It was happening back then. That was like, what, 5 years ago?
Oh, I mean, you were still in California. I mean, it was
5 years ago I moved here. So it had to be 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's cyclical.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, people didn't pay attention to this Utah lawsuit. I went back to DC for, Steve's on the board for Teddy Roosevelt Conservation Partnership, TRCP. Mm-hmm. They have a policy meeting that I try to go to twice, 2 or 3 times a year. And where I was in there with all these people that are super smart and went to school for all this stuff. And a couple of us were like, why is nobody talking about this? Why is nobody concerned about this? And then this idea of selling public lands got really conflated with like, oh my God, if you talk about anything that's going on with the federal government, you're anti-Trump. And it was just this ultra politicized hot potato. And we're like, no. Public lands, they're for everybody. Like, this is a nonpartisan thing. We've been talking about it since August. Here's this lawsuit. Like, they're selling land that belongs to everybody, doesn't matter what state you're in. And then, like, the next domino fell, and a bunch of states and counties signed on an amicus brief for that Utah lawsuit, which is like a friend of the court filing, because they wanted to get in, like, stuff's going up for free or cheap fire sale. They wanted to be in on it. And then the next domino fell, which was, Mike Lee's getting pulled into the White House, and he's cutting deals, and we know exactly what's on his mind. And it was literally just like this opening in the world where nobody's talking about 18.5 million acres. So what if we started talking about 200 million acres or 500 million acres? And it just like totally kicked the door open to this whole enchilada fire sale. And had the dude not been as greedy, people may not have gotten as fired up about it. But, kind of thank God he did.